Well, it's not in the decimal system. The number 666 from the book of Revelation, it's not in the decimal system. You can Google it, but you'll find it's something none of the great disciplines teach. Whether Christian, Muslim, rabbi, or secular scholars, none of them solved the puzzle because they didn't realize it concerns number system conversion. And unless you perform the correct numeric conversion calculation, you won't be able to identify what name it reveals. Welcome, and keep watching because calculating the number of the beast correctly is just the tip of the iceberg. I'll also show you how to use gematria to successfully match the calculated number to the name of the beast or empire that this prophecy foretold, since the beast is an empire which has indeed come into existence pretty recently. Your skepticism is expected, but remember, I've already demonstrated good faith in the opening line of this video by revealing the first key. It's not in the decimal system. Let's start with the right question. Have you ever wondered why the writer of the book of Revelation, John of Patmos, instructs us to calculate a number, but then hands us the answer on a silver platter? It's like asking someone to solve a riddle and then immediately whispering the solution. This always puzzled me. The prophetic verse reads, "Calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of mankind, and the number is 666. You see that? The instruction itself doesn't seem to make sense. Why instruct us to calculate a number, but then immediately give us the number? But according to the prophecy, if you perform the correct calculation on the number, the resulting number will match the gematria number of the name of the empire in question. Gematria being the art of assigning numerical values to the characters in a name, and then you add up the sum of those numbers to get the number of the name. Now, while gematria is an ancient practice, John of Patmos deliberately uses this as a modern-day identification technique, associating an empire's name with an ID number to enable us to identify the correct empire. Considering John made this prophecy 2,000 years ago, while the empire, on the other hand, was only ratified recently, would make this a bona fide fulfillment of prophecy. Now, any proper puzzle must have a key to solving it, and in this case, the key is actually twofold, and it's hidden within the puzzle itself. John instructs us to calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of mankind. The first key lies in the phrase, "It is the number of mankind." What is the number of mankind? The number we use to count? The decimal system. So John is prompting us to decipher the number by converting it into the decimal system. Think about it. The redundancy of providing both the instruction to calculate as well as the number itself underscores that 666 is not inherently in the decimal system, which is the first key. The second key presents a challenge of its own. You see, an alternate codex exists that states the number as being 616. This situation caused some to question the validity of the book of Revelation, claiming we cannot know which is the correct number. So, according to them, the text is not reliable. But since John of Patmos was a real prophet, he was able to overcome this situation in a very elegant way. The number 666 is indeed the correct number because the number 666 itself turns out to be the second key. You see, to convert this number into the decimal system, you'll need to know which numeric system it is in. Now, I don't know how the creator does these things, but he is the creator after all, and therefore the master of language and numbers. So he caused the number 666 itself to serve as the second key that reveals to the reader its native numeric system. To calculate the number, let's do a quick refresher on numeric systems. The decimal system uses the 10 modern-day digits, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So you will immediately notice, although there are 10 digits, there is no number 10. A similar thing happens in modern numeric systems up to the decimal system, also called the base 10 system. You make up the actual number 10 by combining 1 and 0. This same principle applies for all the numeric systems down to the binary system, which is the base 2 system computers use. As you know, the binary system uses only zeros and ones to represent numbers. So already, the number 666 cannot be in the binary system because the binary system lacks the digit 6. In fact, we can disqualify all numeric systems that do not contain the digit 6. So what is the first numeric system that does contain a 6? It's called the septenary system. It uses digits 0 to 6, and we need to calculate 666. That might be a clue, but it's not the definitive clue. You see, even though the septenary system uses digits 0 to 6, it's a base 7 system, meaning it has 7 digits. And 7 is the number the Creator likes to use. 10 is mankind's number. 7 is the Creator's number. It's all over Scripture. 7 heavens, 7 spirits of God. 7 words in the first verse in Genesis, 7 days of creation, 7 days in a week. And the list goes on, so there is no doubt. 7 is the number the Creator likes to use. Now think about it again. The codex that uses the incorrect number 616 is instantly exposed as false. Because now it becomes apparent that by allowing only the digit 6 3 times in the number, the puzzle was deliberately designed by the Creator to confirm that the septenary or base 7 system is the right numeric system. So 666 is in the septenary system and needs to be converted into the decimal system. That is the calculation that John instructs us to perform. No problem. There are many websites that can do that for us. And when you've done that, you'll lay eyes on the number in the format it is meant to be used in the puzzle, 342. The number of the name of the beast is 342 in the decimal system. What remains now is to match this number to the gematria calculation of the name of the empire. Now, as I mentioned, the empire in question has already been ratified. The official ratification occurred in 1993, almost 2 millennia after the prophecy was made. And in another show of good faith, I'm going to be very candid. There's no sense in me beating around the bush with this. No matter how much this might upset you, you cannot change reality any more than I can. Listening with a reasonable attitude is up to you. The name of the empire is the European Union, or the beast out of the sea, as John of Patmos calls it. It was founded on November 1st, 1993, when the Maastricht Treaty came into effect. So in the history of empires, it's very recent, but the European Union's economy is substantial and starting to rival that of America and China. And the euro is increasingly being seen as a competitor to the US dollar on the global market, emerging as a major international currency. We need to take the name of this empire and perform the correct gematria calculation on it. There have been different gematria systems relating to different languages throughout human history. We have to select the correct language and the correct gematria system. It should come as no surprise that it is Hebrew gematria, which was in use 2,000 years ago. But there have been different methods in history. So we will be using not only the prominent method, the Mispar Hekraki, or standard value gematria, but also the Mispar Gadol, or large value Sophit method, for reasons that will become apparent. For the purposes of this demonstration, it doesn't matter if you don't speak Hebrew. I will take you through it step by step, and the calculations are straightforward so you can confirm all the results yourself using Google Translate. The condition is simple. The number that these two gematria systems produce must be the number we just calculated, 342. Seems simple enough, right? But it's never that simple with languages, as all languages have idiosyncrasies. And Hebrew is no different, especially when you are translating between Hebrew and English. But we have to, since Hebrew was used 2,000 years ago, and English is the language of modern-day Western civilization. To make a long story short, I managed to identify 2 idiosyncrasies that were obscuring the calculation. I'm not going to bore you with too many details. The bottom line, the first idiosyncrasy is simply that it concerns the definite article, meaning if you would like to say the European Union or just European Union in Hebrew. Now, while it's customary to use the definite article when saying the European Union or the United States of America, engravings work differently, often omitting the definite article. The name of the empire appears this way on its emblem, its website, on its Wikipedia page, on the Britannica website, etc. America, as another example, also omits the definite article on its Wikipedia page, on the plaque of its embassy in Jerusalem, its State Department seal, its DoD seal, etc. So we are going to use European Union as the name, without the definitive article, since John of Patmos saw an actual mark or engraving of the beast in his vision when he prophesied about the name. I found two ways of spelling European Union in Hebrew, Ha'ichud Eropi and Ha'ichud Erofi. I put them in the description down below so you can copy and paste them into Google Translate to see for yourself. When I was doing it, Google Translate even asked me if I didn't mean the European Union instead of just European Union. If you click on the "Did you mean" text bubble, it will translate back to the European Union. That is the first idiosyncrasy. The second idiosyncrasy is downright suspicious. You see, both spellings are correct, but both Google Translate as well as the AI engines like ChatGPT, Gemini, and Copilot will try to gently push you towards using Ha'ichud Eropi instead of Ha'ichud Eropii. The AI engines will claim that Ha'ichud Eropi is the correct spelling, while Ha'ichud Erofi is maybe a more informal usage or perhaps even a typo. This is where my conspiracy flags start going up. You see, when you do a Google search using the second so-called informal spelling, Hebrew web pages pop up using this spelling all over the place. A lot of Israelis definitely use this informal spelling. Just be certain to add the definite article "the" back when you do the search. It looks like this, Ha'ichud Ha'eropai. I'll put that down in the description too. Google search will instead search using the formal spelling. Just be sure to put your foot down and click search for Ha'ichud Ha'eropai. Now, just like me, you might also be tempted to use the AI engines to do the gematria calculations for you. Here's a fair warning. They can be notoriously bad at calculations and often give inconsistent results. I ended up using a website that can perform all the necessary gematria calculations. As you can see, it covers a lot of Hebrew variations, but the very first two are the ones we need. The Mispar Hekrachi and Mispar Gadol, or standard value and large sofit as I will refer to them. Now, both the standard value and large sofit calculate the recommended Hebrew Ha'ichud Eropi to 341. That's only a single digit off, but still not 342. How odd. However, both the standard value and large sofit calculate the informal Hebrew Ha'ichud Eropai to 342. Bullseye. Now, isn't that a bit suspicious? The spelling Google Translate and the AI engines push towards is one digit off, while shall we call it Israeli field spelling hits the bullseye. So the question is, do we write the formal Hebrew spelling that yields 341 off to idiosyncrasy? Well, believe it or not, I'm not the kind of person that likes to reach, especially in a situation like this that could put atheism in mortal danger. See, I can be skeptical too. So I tried another angle. How would Sherlock Holmes word it? Eliminate the impossible. Whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. So I calculated the numbers of the names of the other noteworthy economies on Earth using standard value and large sofit. Here are the results. United States of America translates to Artsot Habarit and yields 1314 and 1314. Russian Federation translates to Hapadartsia Hawasit and yields 1075 and 1075. To save time, I'm not going to read all of them. You can pause the video to check for yourself. And even though the following 4 countries are members of the European Union and therefore don't count on their own, let's just check to be sure since they are among the top 20 economies in terms of GDP. As you can see, the names of all these economies flee from the number 342, like someone fleeing from the plague. They don't even come close, and in some cases, the standard value and large sofit methods don't even yield matching numbers. And as added proof, it is also well worth noting that the number 666 doesn't present anywhere since we are now working in the decimal system. The European Union is the only name that draws toward the number 342, like a moth to a flame. Sherlock Holmes would be proud. The names of the other economies are literally ratting out the European Union by eliminating themselves from the number pool. Okay, so we have actual hardcore proof, but like I said, I can be skeptical too, and the number is just the tip of the iceberg. John of Patmos also gave a description of the beast out of the sea, which is, as far as prophecy goes, pretty elaborate. The question is, does his description foretell the type of political organization the European Union has taken on? And then there's America, Russia, and China. Did it really slip the creator's mind to reveal their modern exploits through prophecy? Well, among the great prophecies found in the book of Revelation, You'll find John's explicit identification of two coexisting empires that came to be and now exist in our modern age. He refers to them as the beast out of the sea, which now seems to point to the European Union as the candidate, and then another beast out of the earth. I will simply call them the First Empire and the Second Empire, respectively, for reasons that will become apparent. I'll discuss the description he gave about these two empires in the next video. Then we'll have a number and a name, and a description that matches the First Empire, the beast out of the sea, and also some more information about the Second Empire, the beast out of the earth. Be sure to keep watching.